Okay. All right. How is everybody doing today? Oh my God. Ladies and gents, let's go ahead and get into it. I am Maddie with the Terrible People podcast. And of course, we have two cats that have set the internet ablaze last week, Friday. None other than Anton, king of the bagchasers, was out there setting everything on fire, and he did a show with StephenA Smith. This was amazing. And then here comes the rest of everybody who needed that wonderful stimmy check. I'm not gonna lie, I probably need that stimmy check too from Brother Anton. All right. But here's the thing. It had a lot of people divided, wondering, and well, I just saw a clip come up randomly. So let's go ahead and see what's been highlighted here. But if you haven't, you probably need to go watch the original interview because it's absolutely amazing. But let's go ahead and just see this right here.
I don't like the fact that you apologized for some of the things that you said because you were absolutely right, especially and particularly against how Jasmine Crockett was representing herself. But because the woke mob decided that they wanted to make you the punching bag and to come after you, and they still didn't and don't support you and didn't accept your apology. But in particular, and I'm saying it's not you, the Don Lemons, the Joy Reids, all of these people. They don't respect you unless you align with what they believe. And so even when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, they don't believe in diversity unless it's aligned with what they believe, which goes against. It's an oxymoron, right? It's hypocritical. And so even when you have an opinion, they don't believe in Black Republicans. Mm-hmm. They only believe if you believe in them and diversity as it aligns with their agenda.
Man, that is an absolute mouthful. I mean, can we, from the people who brought you chicks with dicks, from the people who brought you 79,000 endless possibilities when it comes to sexual identity and pronouns. It's amazing, isn't it? Because you being Black, conservative, or I'm even a moderate liberal, you'll be ousted as far as liberal politics, which myself, I was ousted. And honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I am like Joe Rogan in that aspect, and I am 100% okay with it. It does not bother me. It does not do anything for me. The situation is what it is. I mean, give or take, whatever day of the week people want to allow you to be back and be down and you can go to the cookout and shit like that. Honestly, I have no more desire to because I don't really see any value in any of whatever it is that these people have going on because I just look at them as extremely corny. But let's continue because my browser just refreshed. I think we were about right in here. Because, yeah, Brother Anton was cooking.
Goes against. It's an oxymoron, right? It's hypocritical. And so even when you have an opinion, they don't believe in Black Republicans. Mm-hmm. They only believe if you believe in them and diversity as it aligns with their agenda. Mm. That doesn't make sense. How can you want to have voices in every part of government or voices that are different from yours or representation, but you don't want representation when it doesn't agree with you? Like I can disagree with you on a particular issue, but it doesn't mean that I remove your right to vote or your humanity, or I can't agree with you on other issue. But that's not what they do. They're not tolerant like they sell you.
We all know.
They damn sure aren't. That's why they call people Nazis. That's why they call people all sorts of different names. You know, it's done intentionally, right? Come on, you have the leader, what's his name? Torre, the man out there who looks like series of unfortunate events, Lemony Snicket's looking ass nigga. He's out here saying that, yes, white people, yes, you can call that man the N-word, blah, 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 because that's what he is. He just removed this man's humanity, stripped him down to whatever it is that he wanted to strip him down to because he was a black ICE agent. This is who these people are. And this is exactly why people need to be listening to these people, because they are oftentimes unmedicated and unhinged. Anton is not wrong about anything that he said. And if you want to challenge that, go ahead and tell him that. Tell your white apologist that you are conservative.
Oh, that when it comes to cancel culture, the Democrats are the ones that are guilty of that. It ain't the Republicans
100%.
and the right trying to get people canceled. It's the progressive left. There's no doubt about that.
Now wait a second. That was until the Drewski incident. Oh, you gotta give that slow clap like Will Smith at the end of Pursuit of Happiness. Oh, Jesus. But we gotta keep going forth.
See that every single day. As it pertains, and I'm glad you brought that up, as it pertains to my apology to Jasmine Crockett, what happened was Trump came out thereafter because I backed it up and I stayed on my position. Well, not just the first time, but the second time. But then Trump came and used that as an excuse to start questioning our IQ and the intelligence of this black woman. And I didn't want to be a part of that. That's why I apologize for it. You can agree or disagree with it.
You can't apologize for something that you didn't do wrong, StephenA.
Well, again, but if I felt like I contributed
to
something that happened wrong to her, that was my only issue. But it didn't take away from what I was saying. Yo, acting like that ain't gonna cut it. Yo, that's not gonna win the election for you. That's not gonna win the Senate seat. That's not gonna make you have more power, more influence in the House of Representatives.
That's not who you
and
are.
Sure enough,
that's not who you are when you talk about.
Well, and I think the thing that people are really not understanding, especially black people, all right, because a lot of people were, oh man, it was racism. They were shutting down the poll. They didn't do none of that dumb shit. You want to know what happened? It was that little girl's chickens coming home to roost, right? Because here's the thing. Our Latino brothers and sisters, when you offend them, they're not just going to be with a go along, get along gang. Fuck no. This woman said what? Jasmine Crockett, y'all ain't going to be out there in them plantations picking things. Y'all don't do that no more. But y'all was upset when Trump said something about a black job. Who do you think she was talking about when Jasmine was up there talking about y'all ain't in them fields no more? Y'all don't do this. Y'all ain't picking up nothing no more. And what was y'all doing? And guess what? And you want to know what the Latinos did? You want to know what the Chicanos did? Here, they say, oh, okay, see? They didn't say nothing. They wasn't out there being offended. They say, yeah, okay, nigga, I got you. And that's why she got absolutely smoked in that election. She lost by what, 100,000? Oh, yeah. And who do you think the biggest group of people voting demographic is in Texas. In a lot of these districts, it is largely Latino. So you think you can just piss these people off and it's just going to be okay? Mm, doesn't work that way. But let's go ahead. Let's keep on.
Sports. When you talk about sports, you say what you say, and it is what it
Well,
is.
yeah, but the point is I have the facts to back it up, not just my opinions. See, when the Detroit Pistons lose to the New York Knicks, yes, when they lose to the New York Knicks, Anton, right? Okay, I can speak definitively as to why, because the outcome is the outcome. There's nothing subjective about it. So that a lot of, and I get what you said, and I appreciate your comment about that, because a lot of people have looked at me, and even when they've supported me, they've been critical of me from the standpoint, yo, he's talking, but it ain't the same StephenA with sports. And I'm like, yo, I got facts to back me up. In politics, this is my perspective. And somebody comes up with something else, I'm listening to you right now. I'm going like this. Well, I did feel this way, but damn, he did make a damn good point here, and he did make a damn good point there. I got to listen. I got to think about that, because that's
If you
how it
would have,
is.
if
It's not
they
that
would
way
have
in
listened
sports.
to you, if they would have
She would have won.
you,
She would have won. She'd have won.
we align with that, right? But instead, we're more focused on how we feel.
Man, and you know what? Look, that's just a snippet. But I like that going back and forth because you know what? Anton is extremely smart, as is StephenA, but that's the whole thing right there. I like to see the balance of left and right without denigrating and disrespecting each other because you know, much like the Corey Holcomb situation, right? Much like the Jason Whitlock versus Stephen A. Smith situation. Okay. You get these situations that are extremely explosive, and honestly, they don't do any good for anybody, right? Because the Anton situation, you get a lot of black people that are way too comfortable disrespecting black people solely based on something as simple as like a political stance or ideology or alignment, if you will. And it shouldn't even come to that. You know, the back and forth between Anton, a lot of people, no, he didn't have to do this, but you have to understand in the world, just in the world in general, if you were at a bar and you bump into somebody, it doesn't make you less of a person to be like, oh, hey, man, I'm sorry. Is everything all right? You know, just check on the dude, check on the people that you bumped into. It doesn't make you a punk. It just means that, hey, you know, I acknowledge, you know, it's crowded in here. Hey, I'm sorry. It's not that big of a deal. Most people, oh, yeah, hey, you know, but when you meet people with a certain level of energy, if you push somebody, you might get slapped after the fact, right? You might get punched. That's why you never initiate. You never initiate something that you are not adequately ready to defend yourself for and against, or just a situation you don't want to be a part of. This is why we conduct ourselves as adults at all times. Keep your fucking hands to yourself. Check your tone before you talk to somebody. It's not that difficult, but a lot of people, they just don't seem to live in reality to where they get to do whatever it is that they want to do. And then, well, they get to be unaccountable after the fact. Had Corey Holcomb not said, "Well, you know, kiss ass to the white dude," that was that push. So then here comes Anton with whatever he said back, and the rest is history. You guys have seen it. you know. So if you don't want none, don't start none. James Brown, don't start none. There it is. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, look, for those of you who did not see this full interview, man, oh man, it is a real treat and it's really cool. I personally loved that back and forth. It's pretty sick. So get in the likes, the comment section. Let me know what it is that you guys think. And hopefully I get to see you guys in the next one. Peace.